Welcome to CT380 Webcasting. My name is Professor Daniel Phelps. This is one of many videos that's going to be online, but I want to welcome you to the class, and I just want to give you a quick little look at the mind map for this class. And if you do not know what a mind map is pretty much a visual representation of any idea or challenge or topic. So in this case, I created a mind map for the class. So it talks about everything that we're going to discuss in this class, and visually you can see how it's connected. And then we'll also, in another video, I'll take you through all of the things, all the projects that are within this class, and we'll see how they all connect. One of the things about a webcasting class is this whole idea of hyperlinking. And this class is definitely hyperlinked because every topic and discussion really relates to the one previously and the one at the very end of the semester. And there's lots of topics and things like that we talk about all semester that have to do with your everyday lives. So let's take a look at the mind map, and we can see what we're doing for this semester. So this is the mind map, and this is actually included on the website. It's on the mind mapping. It's on the mind mapping button right over here on the left-hand side. So you can open it up. It's a PDF. You can zoom into it infinitely and take a look. It's very dense and very large. So remember that you can zoom in and move left and right and take a look at the whole thing. But as we start, this is the main section for the class. Webcasting as a whole means the transmission and reception of media over the internet. So that could be audio, it could be video, it could be text, it could be CAD files for an object, it could be torrents and movies and music and all of that stuff, speeches. It's just anything that goes from one place to the other on the internet. So what we do is we're going to start just with that basic definition and kind of move out and talk about who webcasters are, okay? Exactly who webcasters are, what traditional media is versus non-traditional media. Look at how the revenue model, how they make money, and look at what allowed the web to kind of proliferate for webcasting. So we'll look at TV, radio, and a little bit of Hulu, which is a little bit of mix of both of traditional media and non-traditional media. We'll also look at some of the outlets for internet-only non-traditional media, audio, video. So we're looking at self-broadcasting, YouTube, podcasting, which is subscription-based, and Scribed, which is just an example of webcasting documents. So from there, we'll go into the history. We'll look at a couple articles about traditional and non-traditional media. We'll look at some timelines and talk about lots of this stuff. So after webcasters, we're probably going to go into the media content owners. And a big part is this little area down here, the DMCA. Now the DMCA is the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, and it's always being ratified and changing, and is defining you as a consumer, or defining what you as a consumer can use and how you can use it. It's essentially a broadcaster's and a consumer's protection in a way. And some of the stuff is loosely defined, but over the past 6 or 7 years, it's gotten a lot better defined. So this is a big part of the class, and we're probably going to spend a couple weeks talking about it. So what you have is this big divide between the content creators and the owners of the content creators and the content distributors, and that's part of traditional and non-traditional media and understanding that. So we're going to also talk a little bit about peer-to-peer, so like pirating movies, pirating music. I'm sure we all know somebody who is really good at finding things on the internet. So that's one of the big things that we're also going to be looking at. So what type of content, from audio to video to software to video games to print. And what are the ramifications from downloading and pirating stuff off the internet? We're also going to take a look at the history of not just pirating. I mean, we'll talk about pirating in a little bit, but pirating is just a byproduct of media distribution over the internet, and that's happened for a long time, since email first began and people started sending pictures and files to each other. And we'll look at the history of how that all started, where it came from. I'll talk to you about, when I was a kid type thing, and we used to go out and have my old computer, and we used to dial into these other computers and get pictures and video games and stuff like that, which is really fun, and talk to other people. We'll talk about how it works, the different types of networks, and that will bring us over to all of these, the three big technology pieces. Okay, technology is a very large portion of what we're going to talk about in this class. How it all works is huge. It's huge. The big thing is in webcasting, when we talk about webcasting, it's not just the content, it's how the content's delivered. So, we're really going to take a look at DSL, cable, broadband, mobile, how stuff gets out to your phones, how it gets to your computers, how it gets anywhere in the world so quickly and easily. Specifically, we'll talk about cable networks, radio networks, how all that stuff is done, and kind of a little bit of the history of it. And then we'll get in lots more specifics with how to push media out, how to pull media in as a consumer and a creator of this media, whether it be print or audio or video. And then we'll get into the big stuff. Now, this is the big ones, and these are the ones that are going to take a little bit of time to kind of wrap your head around, is looking at codecs and players. Okay, so everybody knows Windows Media Player, and everybody knows QuickTime if you've ever been on a computer and watched a video. You also know Flash because of YouTube. Now, how do those work? How do they differ? Which one's better? Which one's worse? How it came to be. All of these things. We're definitely going to have a nice chat about that. We're also going to go and talk about the different platforms. So the media consumption platform, when you sit down in front of something and you click around, or you click the button on the TV, or you click the button on the radio, how does that all work, and why are they there, and what purpose do they serve? Are some dying? Are some coming back? We'll look at the PC as a platform, the TV as a platform, and mobile as a platform. Now, there's a couple things that I missed right here in this example, but this whole mind map is going to change throughout the semester. It's going to get better and more dense, and it should really mirror some of the stuff that you're going to have on the wiki, and you should definitely refer to this before your midterms. You should definitely refer to this before your final. But we're going to talk about these three platforms and how they all work together, and how specifically how the mobile market is changing. And then, and we're not going to do this in this particular order. I'm just kind of cruising through this mind map a little bit. We're really going to take a look at social networks. How does social networking kind of fit into all of this? How do social networks like MySpace, Bebo, Facebook, how do they all really plug into the YouTubes of the world, and the Pandoras of the world, and CBS and Hulu? How do they all work together? How does one feed the other one, and how does one survive with or without them? So, we'll look at MySpace, Delicious, Dig, Facebook. We'll also look at advertising and marketing. How do you, as a content creator, as you guys as content creators, how do you go out there and get people to watch your stuff? How does that happen? How do you do it for very little money? How do you do it with a lot of money? We're going to look at traditional advertising and non-traditional advertising. Non-traditional advertising being, creating videos that are viral, creating content that's interesting, finding a niche and fulfilling it. A student last year did a lot of Photoshop videos on how to do fun things in Photoshop. But you can also do lots of goofy stuff at that same time. So we'll also look at viral ads and have this really fun discussion, and everybody find their own virals and what they like and what does it all mean type of thing. So that's about it for the class. It seems like not a whole lot, but it is quite a bit. So I hope you have a good time in this webcasting course. This is a lot of work. I know it's an online only class, but expect to spend 3 or 4 hours a week on this class, just like any other class. So the next video will be a mind map of the 15-week timeline of everything that takes place in this course. So I hope you enjoy, and good luck.